Welcome everybody to the Virtual College Exploration for All Ohio Students, sponsored by the Ohio Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thanks for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and your microphone are off so the panelists can't see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions that are being offered by OACAC, and you can watch all of the recordings and see future sessions at oacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, oacac.org. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. Take it away.
Thank you very much. So welcome everybody. My name is Dan Hassis. I would like to thank you for joining us and I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with you. I have been at RIT for about 3 years now and I've been in my current role as an admissions counselor for all 3 years. Each one of our admissions counselors covers a different area or territory of the country. So mine is actually Western New York, Western Pennsylvania, and all of Ohio. So I'm actually your admissions counselor. So if you do have any additional questions at the end of the presentation, I will list my contact information, so you can feel free to reach out to me directly and I'm happy to help. I can help with any questions that you have. If I don't know the answer, I'm happy to connect you with any department or any program that does at RIT. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. We'll go ahead and get started. So I am joined with 4 of our student ambassadors as well. So feel free to utilize the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen throughout the presentation. And we can go ahead and answer the questions. They're going to give you a perspective of just what their experience has been so far at RIT. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on the presentation to cover everything about RIT that we can offer you. So let's begin with an overview of the academic opportunities and everything that is available in the same. All right, so RIT's main campus in Rochester, New York is home to more than 16,000 students, including approximately 13,700 undergraduate students. If you include our international campuses in Croatia, Dubai, Kosovo, and China, RIT's total student enrollment is over 19,000, making us one of the largest private universities in the country. Our students come from all over the country in all 50 states and also more than 90 countries across the world. We have 2,600 international students, over 2,000 students who identify as African American, Latin American, and Native American. And RIT is also home to the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, or NTID, which includes more than 1,000 students who are deaf or hard of hearing. You will frequently see people using American Sign Language around campus, and interpreters and closed captioning are used in our classes and at all of our events. Even though RIT is a larger school, our average class size is 22 and our student to faculty ratio is 13:1. Also, all RIT classes are faculty taught and graduate and teaching assistants are allowed to assist professors, but they will not be facilitating classes or teaching new material. So we are home to 9 academic colleges, including the NTID. So there's 9 colleges that make up our university, and we offer close to 90 majors. We have programs in everything from engineering, science, computing, game design, health sciences, and engineering technology to art, design, film and animation, photography, liberal arts, and business. This variety of STEM and non-STEM majors or programs allow students to create some interesting combinations of majors and minors, double majors, or even design their own unique program through our School of Individualized Study. And also for those students that are interested in potentially earning a master's in their plans, we also offer more than 40 accelerated dual degree programs, such as the 4+1 MBA program through our College of Business. So now I'd like to move into discussing opportunities for experiential learning or experiential education, which is an important part of RIT's education style. Experiential learning can take many forms, such as undergraduate research, entrepreneurship, study abroad experience, senior capstone projects, community service, clinical experiences, lab and studio-based projects, and internships. We offer all these options. However, we are best known for our cooperative education program, or CoOp for short. If you haven't heard of the term CoOp before, think of it like a form of internship. While internships can be full-time or part-time or paid or unpaid. Co-ops are always full-time and they're always paid professional work experiences. RIT has one of the oldest and largest co-op programs in the world, with over 3,400 employment partners in all 50 states and over 30 countries across the world as well. So students do not necessarily stay in Rochester while they're out on co-op. They can choose to stay in Rochester if they'd like, if they find a Rochester-based employer, but you can also do a co-op across multiple different cities across the country and also abroad as well. You can do them back in your hometown if you would like. Most co-ops themselves last roughly 3 to 4 months, which is equivalent to roughly the same time frame of either a summer break or a semester as well. Something to remember about co-op is that when you're out on co-op, you're not charged tuition during that time. You're not taking classes either. So all the money that you make is paid directly to you by your employer, and you decide what you want to do with it. If you like to keep it and save it, or if you'd like to apply it to housing while out on co-op, or save it for next year's tuition, it goes directly to you, and it's completely up to you what you'd like to do. Our Career Services and Cooperative Education Office hosts several career fairs throughout the academic year. We have 2 larger fairs each year in the fall and spring semesters. We also have several smaller fairs throughout the year for targeted specific academic areas, such as we do have a Creative Industry Day for our College of Art and Design students, and even a fair specifically for our packaging science students as well. So there's really no shortage of opportunities to connect with partner companies during your time at RIT. Co-op requirements at RIT do vary by major. Some majors require several co-ops that total up to a year. Those programs are mostly in engineering technology, and also computer science. Therefore, those are 5-year programs. However, it is important to remember that when you're out on co-op, you're not paying tuition, so you still only pay for 4 years of tuition during that time, and it's spread out over a 5-year time period. Other majors may only require a 3 to 9 month co-op requirement, which are mostly completed during the summers. For a small number of our programs, co-ops are optional, but regardless of whether your program requires co-op or not, the career service counselors are here to help and help each student with their job search and build upon those different job skills, such as resume writing, interview skills, and much more as well. The sample schedules shown on the slide here are a typical sequence of both 4 and 5-year programs, depending on the co-op requirement. So as you can see, they're spread out throughout your time at RIT. So you get a chance to utilize what you've learned in the classroom and apply them to your co-op placement, and build up and allow you for your co-ops to build upon your academic curriculum as well. So obviously there are many benefits to the co-op program, but there's a few that I'd like to just make sure you have a note of. First off, co-ops allow you to apply what you've learned in the class while it's still fresh in your mind, since it is built within your degree program. Second, co-ops can help you confirm that you've chosen the right field of study. You may learn through your work experience or through co-op that you want to change your focus or even your major. And it's better to realize that while you're still in college instead of after you graduate. You also have the opportunity to network with professionals in your field of study, and as you might expect, and it's common for RIT students to get a job offer from their employer partner or from their co-op employers as well. Also, you're good to know you're getting paid and you're not paying tuition, so you're getting some return on your investment while you're still in school. And finally, you're adding to your professional resume as well while you're still a student, which makes a big difference when it's time for you to start your career. The experience you get as a student, as an RT student, pays off. We survey our seniors each year about their employment status within 6 months of graduating. We have an outcome rate of 94% of our graduating class 2019. So that outcome rate includes those who are employed or pursuing graduate study, or also made alternative plans such as Teach Across America or military service as well. Here's a very small sample on the slide of some of our major employer partners, but you can view more detailed career outcome related information by actual academic program by going to that website by going to the website as well, the joboutlook.rit.edu. Even though we take pride in our co-op program, RIT offers plenty of other forms of experiential learning. One type is undergraduate research, which is not limited to just our science students. There are research opportunities for undergraduates in each of RIT's colleges in areas such as photonics, cybersecurity, and many others as well. You can also begin to do research as soon as you step foot on campus, as early as your first year. And if you're interested in doing some sort of research or participating in research, but you're not sure where to get started, biggest recommendation is reach out to your professors directly, because they might know about research that they're even conducting on their own, and might need some additional help or assistance for it as well. So definitely readily available for you as an undergraduate student. Another example of experiential learning is an abroad experience or global opportunity. It could be, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. As an abroad experience. It can be a life-changing form of experiential learning. Like I mentioned before, our main campus is located in Rochester, New York, but we do have 6 international campuses that are owned and run by RIT. So there's 2 in China, 2 in Croatia, 1 in Kosovo, and 1 in Dubai. So you can potentially study abroad at one of these Rochester or Rochester Institute of Technology campuses in one of these countries if you would like. There's other opportunities as well for an abroad experience in over 50 countries across the world at a partner university. You can also do a co-op experience abroad as well, or even take a faculty-led trip with other students for class credit abroad, or as an abroad experience as well. So there's definitely opportunities for that abroad experience if you'd like to incorporate within your program as well. All right, so our newest building on campus is the Magic Spell Studio. So Magic, which stands for Media, Arts, Games, Interaction, and Creativity, opened its doors in 2018. It's a hub for digital media students in our schools of design, film and animation, and interactive games and media. The building itself features a 7,000 square foot soundstage, virtual reality labs, stop motion animation facilities, and professional sound mixing and color correction studios. So it's very unique and it's state of the art and available for students within those majors and across multiple fields that share those interests as well. Austin McCord, an RIT alumnus and the founder of Datto, a computing security company, decided he wanted to get back to his alma mater. After selling his company, he presented RIT with a check for $50 million. So thanks to Austin's generosity, some of the new facilities we have that are opening up very soon and also set to open up are the Global Cybersecurity Institute, which is, I believe, opening this fall. And then also in RIT's spirit of innovation and creativity, we will soon break ground on our Innovative Maker and Learning Complex, or IMLC. So we've talked a little bit about what the academics and experiential education components of an RIT experience is like, but now let's start talking about what you can expect outside of the classroom. There is plenty to do on campus, and our students are always active. We have more than 300 active clubs ranging from academics to religious to environmental to multicultural to artistic and athletic. We typically host more than 1,300 student-run events each year, and students can also take advantage and join Greek life if they would like, with over 29 participating organizations. So roughly 10% of RIT students are involved in Greek life too. And then if you're interested in competing at sports at the varsity level, we have 24 varsity sports at RIT. We are Division I in men's and women's ice hockey, and then we are Division III in the rest of our sports. If you are interested in participating in a sport at the varsity level, we would recommend reaching out to the coach directly through our athletics website, which is included on the slide. And then if you're interested in competing in a sport or activity, but maybe not necessarily at the varsity level, or just not sure really what you want to get involved in, but just want to know what is available, we do have a long list of club, intramural, and recreational sports and activities that you can get involved in, including dodgeball, Quidditch, and Humans versus Zombies, which is actually a campus-wide game of Nerf tag, or a campus-wide game of tag using Nerf blasters, excuse me. We even have our own rock wall on campus, rock climbing gym on campus called the Red Barn. And RIT also has an active esports population, and students have won several national championships, such as Hearthstone and Drop Zone as well. One of RIT's goals is to develop the leading performing arts program in the nation for non-majors. So more than 1,000 students, more than 1,000 RIT students participate in performing arts each year, from theater to improv to dance and music ensembles. We offer minors in music and theater, but along with that, we're also looking to continue to grow these fields as well. We have some new performance spaces planned for theater and dance that are set to go up over the next few years. And now we even offer a scholarship to incoming students for performing arts achievements as well. So that's something you can actually be reviewed for if you're looking to continue to participate in performing arts and have done so already while in high school. So RIT has a residential campus offering a mix of residence halls, suites, and apartments. Freshmen outside of the Rochester area are required to live on campus for the first year. Students can apply for special interest housing, including Photo House, Computer Science House, and HOGS, which stands for House of General Sciences. There are also different academic and lifestyle floors, such as honors housing and gender inclusive housing as well. RT Dining offers a range of dining options across campus, including Gracie's, which is the main dining hall, Global Grill and Market, several different coffee shops, Salsaritas, which is our Mexican style restaurant, and even a full service student run restaurant called Henry's. And it's also good to note we are home to the only Ben and Jerry's ice cream scoop shop in the Rochester area. Then for just additional facilities and additional resources that we have available, we have different post offices that you can utilize, different fitness facilities that are available, tons of different computing labs and studio spaces, the studio spaces that you can utilize as well. We have free laundry facilities within our residence halls, and also additional student services that are readily available as well, either within our health center, counseling center, or disability services office as well. And then just going over a little bit of information about Rochester itself. So our campus is located in Henrietta, New York, which is 6 miles south of downtown Rochester. Rochester itself is the third largest city in New York State. And some of the major companies that have called Rochester home over the years include Eastman Kodak, Paychex, Xerox, Bausch & Lomb, and Wegmans. Music and theater have a strong presence in the Rochester area and typically offer a wide range of events to attend for people within the greater Rochester as well throughout the year at our different venues, theaters, and annual festivals. Other popular locations include Lake Ontario and the Finger Lakes region, ski resorts, minor league sporting events, the Susan B. Anthony House, the Strong Museum of Play, Letchworth Park, and we are also only 90 minutes from Niagara Falls too. All right, so now let's talk about admissions and opportunities in the process for students at RIT. All right, so there's three different paths that a student can choose to apply to RIT. Most students choose the option that's furthest to the left to that sort of green bar, which is applying directly to a specific major. So if you know that there's a number one choice program that you want to be reviewed for, you can list that as your top choice on your application and be reviewed for admission specifically into that program. And if admitted, you start in that program from day one. So you know exactly what classes you're going to be taking and you know exactly what you're going to be earning your degree within. If you do decide to change your major at a later point after attending RIT, then those requests would be requests through the academic department that you wish to switch into. And those requests are honored based on the academic performance and space available in the requested program. Now, if you're interested in a couple of different programs within a specific area, but not sure which major is the best fit, we also have the middle option, which is the college-based exploration option. These are one-year programs that are designed to allow exploration within a specific area before you actually declare your major. The biggest benefit is these are designed for you to gain some experience and take some classes within these exploration options, and then at the end of that first year, choose your major within that college, and you still maintain on time to graduate with it as well. So very beneficial for students that might be interested within a specific academic area, or might be deciding between a couple of majors and not 100% sure which is the best fit. Then I always advise to look at the exploration program either within that school or within that college, because there's really no downside to it for a vast majority of students. And then the third option is to apply to the University Exploration Program. So this program is designed for students that have multiple academic areas of interest across the university or might just be completely undecided. So students begin to work with academic advisors to craft a fall semester schedule that allows them to explore potential areas of academic interest. And then over the course of the year, most students will declare their major either after the first or second semester. Although we cannot guarantee that there's no delay in graduation time for this program, depending on which major is ultimately selected, this major does have a high success rate of on-time graduation. All right, so at RIT, we have different admissions criteria based on the student's intended major, which is a practice we call differential admissions. We practice differential admissions for two reasons. So first, given the diversity of our academic programs, it makes sense to evaluate candidates by major or exploration option. For example, what we are looking for from a software engineering candidate is very different than what we are looking for from a studio arts painting candidate. The second reason is that we want to ensure a high quality experience in your major. We want your class sizes to not be too large and to ensure you have opportunities to have relationships with your professors, access to equipment and labs and facilities, and that you are not competing against too many other students for co-ops, internships, research experiences, and full-time job opportunities as well. For this reason, we encourage you to list your top 3 programs on your application, and if you have more than one genuine interest. If we cannot admit you into your first choice program on your application, then we may be able to offer you admission into one of your other choices. The numbers on the right represent the middle 50% ranges for GPA, which is out of a 100-point scale, SAT scores, and ACT scores for students who were admitted to RIT last year. However, these ranges can vary significantly by major and by college. If we have more qualified candidates for a specific major than spots available in a program, we will start a waiting list by major. A few programs that we typically have waiting lists for from a year-to-year standpoint are the biomedical engineering program, the mechanical engineering program, the computer science program, computer security program, game design development program, physician's assistant BSMS, and also the film animation program as well. And then when we review our applications as an admissions committee, we use a holistic approach, a holistic process that includes several factors. So first, regardless of the major you apply to, the most important factor that is considered is your academic record, which is made up of several components. Your GPA, your class rank, if your school does rank, academic trends if present, meeting course prerequisites for the major you are applying to, how you've challenged yourself, taking into consideration your academic interests and the level of rigor offered at your school. For example, are you taking sort of honors courses, AP courses, IB courses, or any sort of college courses through dual enrollment courses or whatnot as well. And we will give more emphasis in our review to courses that are related to your academic area of interest as well. Going for standardized tests, RIT has adopted an SAT, ACT test optional policy for fall 2021 applicants and beyond as well for admissions and scholarship consideration. For students who do choose to submit SAT or ACT results, we will consider them as part of the review process. We do super score the SAT and ACT if you have taken it multiple times. And if you do submit both SAT and ACT, we will use whichever best advantages your application. If you do not submit an SAT or ACT score, you still will be given full consideration for admission and also full consideration for scholarship for all programs and will not be disadvantaged in any way. RIT does have if you are interested, it does have an agreement with SUNY Upstate Medical University. It's the RIT SUNY Upstate Medical University Accelerated Scholars Program for automatic admission into their MD program. So if you are interested in this program, then SUNY Upstate does require SAT or ACT scores to be submitted with the RIT application. It's also good to note that that one does have a set deadline of November 15th as well. So if you are interested in that program specifically, you just want to make sure that you have those scores and have everything submitted by that specific deadline. We do require at least one letter recommendation from your school counselor. You are welcome to submit additional letters from your teacher, employer, or coach as well. All letters will be read and be considered in the review process. Most candidates on average are submitting roughly 1 to 3 letters of recommendation with their application. And while academics are important, we also consider the extracurricular activities you are involved in, both inside and outside of school. Please share with us any information about your involvement in community service activities, performing arts, athletics, honors you received, leadership positions you've held, or if you've even started your own business. We also take into consideration if you aren't as involved in extracurricular activities because you have to work or have family responsibilities. So we definitely urge you to share information about those experiences with us as well. And then like many universities, RIT does require an essay as part of the admissions review process. The essay is your opportunity to go beyond the quantitative aspects of your candidacy and share with us your personal story. And then also a good aspect to note is for students applying to programs in our schools of the School of Art, School of Design, or School of Film and Animation, a portfolio is also required and is a significant admissions factor. So a slide room submission is the most popular option for sending us a portfolio, and you can find the portfolio guidelines on our website as well. So when applying to RIT, you can choose either early decision 1, early decision 2, or regular decision. Both early decision plans are appropriate if you identify RIT as your first choice university. The benefits of early decision are that you receive your admissions decision and financial aid and scholarship notifications sooner. There is a higher acceptance rate through early decision, and you can select your residence hall, building, and room before the regular decision students. Even though early decision is binding, you can be released from the binding nature of early decision through RIT if you are admitted to a second or third choice program, or if you determine that our scholarship and financial aid offer is not affordable. About a third of our entering freshman class apply through early decision. And if RT is your top choice, I highly recommend applying through early decision, especially if you are applying to one of the more competitive majors here at RIT. And then this chart itself will show the preferred application deadline for all three options, as well as students, as well as when students will receive their notification of admissions decision, and when their acceptance for admissions deposit is due as well. All right, so to make your RT education affordable, we offer both need-based aid and merit-based scholarships. Last year, RT awarded $300 million in financial assistance. For need-based financial aid consideration, you must submit the free application for federal student aid, better known as the FAFSA. For families that qualify, a typical financial aid package includes a combination of grants, loans, and work study. Students can work up to 20 hours per week on campus, and there are plenty of positions available for those that are interested. In addition, we do consider all admitted students for RIT's various merit-based scholarships, including our Presidential Scholarship, the Founders Scholarship, Recognition Scholarships, and the Tiger Pride Scholarship as well. Students can also be considered for specialized scholarships such as FIRST Robotics or Project Lead the Way or Performing Arts or ROTC and more. Affordability is very important to us, and we want you to let us know if you have any affordability concerns after reviewing your award. So feel free to reach out to us, reach out to our Office of Financial Aid if you do have any concerns in that realm. All right, so just kind of cover a few opportunities to connect with us further before we bring the students in. We do offer a wide variety of opportunities to connect with us and learn more about RIT. We have a virtual open house that's going on this week, and we do have plans for future opportunities available, hopefully in the next upcoming months as well. We are open for in-person campus tours at the moment. So if you would like to visit for one of those, you can do so just by going through our rt.edu/visit website. And then we also have different virtual options such as virtual student-led tours, virtual information sessions, and virtual admissions interviews as well, if you would like to connect with one of those as well. So like I mentioned before, my information is on the slide here. So there is my email. If you do have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I am happy to help and happy to answer any specific questions that you might have. So now I'd like to welcome the students to come back and join us. And go ahead and just get started on some introductions as well. So we'll go ahead and just start if we guys want to unmute yourself when I call on you, and we'll go through if you want to introduce your name, major, hometown, where you're from, and also year level as well. So Nisha, can we start with you?
Yeah, hi, my name is Nisha. I'm a fourth year Management Information Systems student, originally from East Brunswick, New Jersey.
All right, and then how about Quinton?
Hi, I'm Quinton Stoneburner. I'm from Fairfax, Vermont. Actually, originally from Ohio, fun fact, but I live in Vermont most of my life. I'm a second year interior design student studying communications and public speaking.
All right, and then how about Maggie?
Hi, I'm Maggie Dempsey. I am a second year supply chain management and management information student, and I'm originally from Rochester, New York.
Excellent. And then last but not least, how about Dylan?
My name is Dylan. I am a fifth year software engineering student from Buffalo, New York, but I'm actually originally from Marietta, Ohio.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, and then for the attendees, if you'd like to use the Q&A function, if you do have any questions, feel free to submit them in. We do have some that are already prepared, so we'll go through those with our students right now. So if they do generate any questions that you're curious about, feel free to submit them in, and we can present them as well. But I guess starting off, if we can go back to Dylan, if you can take yourself back to high school and tell us about your college search. Which universities were you considering? What factors were important to you, and why did you choose RIT?
Yeah, so when I was looking at colleges, I was pretty much dead set on my home university, University of Buffalo. I knew I always kind of wanted to do engineering of some sort, and it wasn't until later, like early on in high school, later middle school, where I realized I also wanted to do something with computers. So it wasn't until my senior year that my mom kind of pushed me to go check out RIT just because she had heard about it from work. So then coming to an open house here, visiting campus, realizing they had the major I was actually really interested in and stuff like that, and just meeting all the people here, I was kind of like, you know what? No, I'm going to RIT instead. And at that point, I knew I would come here.
Excellent. Maggie, how about you? Which universities were you considering? What were some of the important factors, and why did you choose RIT?
Yeah, so for me, I had no idea what I wanted to go to college for. So I looked at so many different universities, all the way from community colleges to private universities, state schools. So I looked at pretty much everything, but the reason I chose RIT was growing up in the Rochester area. Like I always heard about all the amazing thing RIT alumni and students were doing, and I wanted to be a part of that. But also aside from that, I wanted to go to a big university that had like all the clubs and activities and opportunities that a big university has to offer. But I also wanted the small school feel that when you go into the classrooms, you didn't feel like a number. And RIT really like has the best of both worlds. Like my professors get to know me by name, and it was just the perfect fit for me.
Great. Nisha, how about you?
Yeah.
Which universities were you considering? And
Yeah, so I was also looking at a lot of different schools, state schools, private schools, things like that, from anywhere from like New Jersey to California, basically, because I kind of just didn't want to stay at home. And ultimately, I was gonna go into business undecided because I knew I wanted to do business. I just didn't know what kind. A lot of the schools that I was looking at, I found that their business programs were very heavy on economics, and that's not what I wanted to do in the future. So my brother actually went here, which introduced me to the idea of the school. And he was actually also in the same major that I'm currently in. It was a major recommendation for him because he thought that it would be something that I was interested in. And so I ended up coming here because, I had seen what the school could do for a lot of different people, like my brother and all of his friends. And I also have family who are alum here. And then also the faculty is really, really great here as well. I met a lot of my professors and the current head of my department when I was 14 years old at my brother's graduation. So I kept in touch with them throughout my high school years. And I kind of realized that everyone here has at least 5 to 10 years of experience in the industry, which I find really, really helpful. And I've only had like maybe one professor who isn't like that. So I think it's really great.
Awesome. And then Quinton, how are you?
So when I was in high school, I had a very wide variety of things I was interested in. Architecture and interior design were the two that were like top there. So I am doing what I want to do when in coming to RIT. But I also, like everybody else, had a wide variety of schools I was looking into, whether it be for a teaching background, an architectural background, mathematically, business. Those are the things I was looking at. RIT had a little bit of everything. And in my sophomore year, they caught my attention by giving me a prospective scholarship for the Innovative and Creativity Award. So I got that. And then I started going to tours. I started meeting faculty. And after I learned how the faculty and how they were all as people, I still know them to this day as a second year student, almost 5 years later, since that first interaction through just getting a scholarship. So when I did my research, I also found out RIT was like one of the top programs in the nation for interior design. It was really unique. It wasn't just focused on one thing. It was a wide spectrum, not just in the entirety of a school, but in also what I was learning. So it was a great opportunity for me. And the location is not too far from home, but it gets me out of little town Fairfax, Vermont. So that was nice.
Excellent, excellent. Not to put you on the spot, how far is it for like of a drive for you?
So for me, it's about 6.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's always good. And then whenever I'm out recruiting, that's always a good thing to note in regards for Ohio, because it's such a wide range. It could be 3.5 hours, it could be 7. So it's good to know that drive's pretty doable for like a weekend as well. I guess start with Maggie, going on to the next question we have. How did you handle the transition from high school to college?
So I grew up in a little town of Avon, and I had 50 kids in my whole graduating class. So it was tiny. And then coming to RIT, it was definitely a big adjustment, just like being around people and not knowing like everyone in your classes. Like that was something that was really strange for me. But overall, like I got super grateful that super fortunate that I met like some of my closest friends during like the first week here. Orientation is what you're going to spend like the first week of your first year focus on, and you meet so many amazing people, and like that really helped my transition, was just meeting all these great people right away and being able to like have people to go to lunch with and be able to go get food and just hang out with. So honestly, like overall, my transition was really smooth, and I'm really grateful for that.
Excellent. Dylan, how about you? How was the transition? How was the transition from high school to college?
So for me, it was quite weird. The reason being is that I was very involved in high school to the point where I had like literally no free time. So coming to college, I wanted to change that. And I kind of didn't plan for the fact of all the free time I was going to have. So a lot of it was kind of like more life skills and adjusting with that. But thankfully, places like the Academic Success Center exists. So like they're able to kind of help me transition for a lot more of that. Yeah, in general, it was mostly just the new free time that I had was very, very hard and weird to adjust to, but did it.
It's good, good. Nisha, how about you?
I also had a very weird transition. My transition was not the best, simply because I was literally so shy when I came to RIT. Very opposite to Maggie, my high school graduating class was about 700, including myself. And so my class in the College of Business is actually smaller than that. It's like a seventh, maybe, or a sixth of the size. And so before I had like, the main group of people that I talked to, I didn't really have to like venture out because everyone had their own little friend group. And now it's like, I know everyone in my year in my college because I learned how to talk to them. So as soon as I learned how to talk to people, things went great. And I think like it took maybe a year and a half or so for me to fully transition. But after I got the hang of it, it was pretty easy.
Excellent, excellent. And then Quinton, I don't think we've come to you yet on this question. How did you handle the transition from high school to college?
So my transition was very, very easy, very smooth. Like Maggie, I come from a small town. And at my high school, there was like 64 of us in my graduating class. So at that point, I was kind of like the big fish in the pond back there. I was the guy everybody knew. I worked at a diner down the road from my school, so I knew everybody around every corner I went to. Coming to school, I didn't want that to change, so put myself out there. I met a lot of people. Orientation really is a place where like you'll meet everybody in your first year, and some people older than you. I still talk to just about everybody I met in that first week of orientation, and I still meet people almost every day, regardless of COVID being a problem. But yeah, just go out there. Other people are trying to make friends too, and I kept that mindset and kept that idea of I like being familiar with who I'm around and the space I'm in.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, for the attendees, we'll have a few minutes left. Feel free to submit any questions if you do have them. If not, we're going to continue to kind of go through the ones that we already have prepared. Kind of just going over sort of the experiential learning aspects. If any of you want to cover any sort of co-op or research or internships you've completed so far, I guess Nisha, I believe you said you're currently out on co-op right now, or partially at least. You want to explain some of the co-ops you're currently doing and have done?
Yeah, so initially in the College of Business, we get to do like a summer of co-op. We are a 4-year program, so they try to encourage us to do our co-ops during the summer. My co-op was scheduled to be with Dow Jones for the summer of 2020, so last summer. But of course, COVID hit and that didn't work out very well. But then I was struggling with trying to find something else because it was every single person in my year across the country pretty much trying to find the same like handful of internships that were available. Now I'm working for a startup that's based out of Syracuse, and it's part-time for the entire year. So I'm still a full-time student, and I'm still, going to school and going to classes, but I'm also working. It's a lot of fun. I do a lot with their business development and product management and things like that. So since the company is under 10 people, everything that I do kind of impacts the business processes directly. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I think that even if you don't have a co-op requirement, I highly recommend that you try to do one or an internship over the summer or something like that, because it's a really great experience.
Excellent, excellent. And then I think, Dylan, I think you were nodding your head. Can you speak to co-ops or anything you're doing as well?
Yeah. So at this point, I'm in my last year, so I've done all my co-ops, but I did two, both of which were about 8 to 9 month blocks. Same company both times, just in very different divisions. And it's funny, even though, like I said, even though the same company, they were actually two very, very different co-ops. The first one I actually hated a lot, so much so that I considered if I would ever go back to work for this company again, and two, if what I was doing was even what I wanted to do. And funny enough, I ended up back at the same company due to some weird circumstances. And the second team I worked with, it'll probably be the same company that I work for when I graduate. So very different experiences. Overall, though, I've loved the whole process. Even if I didn't enjoy my first one, I've still loved the whole process. Just getting the experience out there has been tremendously helpful. And it's just a lot of stuff you really just can't learn in the classroom. Like a lot of things that the classroom has no way of actually preparing you for. So it's been an awesome experience overall.
Excellent, excellent. Maggie, how about you? Any co-ops or any sort of internships or research or prospective options that are open?
Yeah, so I haven't done my co-op yet because this is my third semester here. So I am hoping to do one in the summer, this coming summer. Let's see what happens with everything. But I do have to mention, so RET, like especially I know like the Sanders School of Business, like you take a class to help prepare you for these co-ops, so they don't just like throw you out and say, go find it yourself, understand like how to be in a workforce or anything. Like they will help prepare you, they'll help you set up your resume and stuff like that, which I found super helpful. Just even little things, just like business etiquette and stuff like that I think is really important. So now like I feel like I'm actually prepared and ready to go for my co-op in the spring or summer.
Excellent, excellent. And then Quentin, how are you? I feel like I always come to you last. Sorry about that.
It is what it is. No, I'm not worried about it. But I am a lot like Maggie. Also, this is my third semester, so I am not technically certified to be able to go on co-op for my specific program. But I do plan it hopefully this summer, maybe next fall. Obviously, in the time between now and graduation, at least once. But Maggie's right. There are plenty of different opportunities for you to get prepared for co-ops. We have co-op and career services. We have the class you can take. And even all your professors are very knowledgeable in what you can do for co-ops. I mean, they've sent their own students out on co-ops numerous times, so they can help you out with any questions you have if you're not so sure you want to commit to a full class for it. And at the same time, you're not so sure about what the whole technicality is for it. There's plenty of opportunities for you to get info on co-ops, no matter what stage you are knowing about them.
Excellent, excellent. Now we only have a couple minutes left, so I guess the one last thing we'll go through is, do you have any advice for students as they progress with their college search and college choice? So any advice you wish you had, or anything that was useful during your college search that you'd like to kind of extend out to students that are still in high school or still going through this college search process? So Quentin, I guess we'll go to you first since we've on you last for most of the other times.
Personally, I'm referred to as an independent student on paper, and overall, I pay for my own college tuition. I pay for all my supplies and things like that. I have my own tax payments that go through for that reasoning. So for me, the college experience is very all about what I do, all about my decision making, and that's true for a lot of students. But a lot of students that are in that situation don't realize that you don't have to rush when you're in this process. College is all about learning, all about being able to figure out what you want to do for your future. And in saying that, make sure that you are taking the time to sit back, think, okay, I got to do this, take a break, or figure out what's going to happen next month, but it doesn't have to be all at the same time. Ask questions if you don't know the answers, and really try to figure out what you need that's right in front of you instead of trying to figure out what's 10 feet in front of you first.
All right, excellent. All right, we'll go to one more. I guess Maggie, if you have any last advice to share, unless Christina, are we okay?
Real quick. So for me, this is advice for anyone who like doesn't know exactly what they want to do. Make sure that when you're looking, like, find colleges that like are flexible. I came into RIT as business exploration and like not knowing what I wanted to do, but they were super flexible. They were super helpful. It's like choose a college that you know is going to be able to support you with whatever decision you make later on.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'll pass it back over to Christina. And thank you to all the students that participated. Thank you to my colleague Kareem as well for helping and assisting as well. But go ahead and pass it back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for everybody that joined us today. Just so that you know, you will get access to a quick 4-question survey once you close out this window. We'd also love for you to sign up for more sessions at oacac.org or watch recordings from past sessions. And as I mentioned earlier, the recording from this session will be available within a week at oacac.org. So thanks so much for joining us today, and thanks everybody for being here.